contained in Chapter 2 made federal character unenforceable, gave the lion's share of the oil and other assets to the far north through a federal account sharing process that was exclusively weighted to favor the far north and make corruption official. Let me take you back over 2 decades of our journey. It all started when the military regime of General Abdul Salami Abolka imposed a unitary 1999 constitution, which in turn was a wholesale rival of the 1979 constitution that was also known to be a victory charter for the Nigeria-Biafra War of 1967 to 1970. When it was made public a few weeks after the inauguration of General Obasanjo as president, the better half of those in the legal profession gathered in several conferences and without much ado recognized the flaws, loopholes, and selfish intentions, and concluded that the constitution was not legitimate and would not lead Nigeria to any form of advancement. It was important that the mechanism or vehicle to set up a countrywide rejection of this forgery of a constitution was put in place. The journey commenced when in 2004, the Pro-National Conference Organization, PRONACO, was established to revoke the damaged federal constitutional basis of Nigeria. PRONACO being the People's Sovereign National Conference of Ethnic Nationalities in Nigeria, convened in all ethnic nationalities, and quickly mandated its representation to go back to their people and to come up with a ratified draft of how they would want to participate in the Union of Nigeria. The conference sat in plenaries across the cities of Lagos, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Jos, and Kano, then returned to Lagos for the final sitting, and in participation, conveners in the likes of Anthony Ihanoro, Wole Soyinka, Chukwu Emeka Odumego Chukwu, and similar leaders across the territories. This resolution was an agreement derived from the Composite People's Constitution as presented and defended by ethnic nationalities representation in those sequential conference. And it is important to know that there were observers from the international community, including the US and European Union observers. In August 2006, a delegate from Castina moved the motion for adoption of the draft People's Constitution that emerged from the 29-point resolution of the conference. In furtherance of the protocol consensus to restore the federal basis of the Nigerian Union, in 2007, the Movement for a New Nigeria was set up as an enforcement of the consensus, at the time to exclude the 12 contiguous northern states that had introduced and embraced the Sharia legal system against the secular basis for Nigeria. The Allies had insisted that democracy and Sharia system could not coexist in the same political space, hence the need for a new vehicle, the Movement for New Nigeria. On the 23rd of May 2007, MMN, through its legal counsel, filed a suit at the Federal High Court Abuja to challenge the legitimacy of the imposed 1999 Constitution, seeking a termination of the entire Constitution. At the court hearings, which had the Attorney General of the Federation representing the federal government, legal representation of the National Assembly, and others admitted the people case which they could not defend the challenge, but insisted that the plaintiff had no locus standi. In English, the plaintiff had no status at law to bring in the case to challenge the legitimacy of the 1999 Constitution. Having acknowledged that the restoration of the people's sovereignty did not need the participation or permission of government, the Joint Multi-Regional Vehicle instituted the MMN Lagos Declaration, 30th of June 2011, by which the Allies partner blocks the Lower Niger, South South, and Southeast, the Yoruba land, and the Middle Belt publicly rejected the Caliphate-imposed 1999 Constitution, mandating regional self-determination actions which included referendum and international outrage. In accordance with the mandates of the MNN Lagos Declaration, the people of the Lower Niger on the 27th of April 2015 held the solemn assembly in Port Harcourt City to boldly repudiate the 1999 Constitution. In that assembly, the 1,885 ethno-linguistic map of the Lower Niger was adopted as a geographical basis of federating. The assembly mandated the distillation of character of relationship as well as asset protection and guarantee scheme to protect the asset of the indigenous people in other blocks of Nigeria. On the mandate for international outrage of the MNN Lagos Declaration, and LNCT visited Capitol Hills, Washington, to make a case for the termination of the operation of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution at a special congressional event on Nigeria in May 2015. The team also made informal consultation for the same matter at the UN headquarters in New York in the same year. 2 years later, still in furtherance to mandate of the MNN Lagos Declaration, the Yoruba indigenous people held the Yoruba Solemn Assembly at Ibadan on the 7th of September 2017. The Assembly publicly repudiated the 1999 Constitution as the basis of the Federation of Nigeria and proclaimed the self-determination right of the Yoruba land to reclaim autonomy of the Yoruba land. Then a year later, on the...
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. And I am going to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are. This is Ninas, the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, and you are all welcome. We have an exciting day for you today, and I am glad to see so many faces that joined early, and I hope that you were getting some information from that video that was playing, because that was a story of the journey that lots of people have started. A lot of them are no longer here, but it in no way diminishes the impact that they have had on this journey that we are on and that we will finish successfully. So welcome again, and we have a lot that we are planning for today. Please, if you are not called upon to speak, do please keep your lines muted. Please keep your lines muted. We have a lot of information to provide to you today. Again, Ninas is an alliance. It's an alliance of from the Middle Belt to the South. So it's got the Middle Belt Forum in it. It's got the Lower Niger, which is the Southeast and the South-South. And it's got the Yoruba land or nation in there as well. And why is this so important? Why is this critical at this time? Well, I'm sure all of you heard or saw the news about the dot that Buhari talked about, because he wanted to collapse. He wanted to collapse this movement into the dot that existed back in 1966. But Ninas is the dot expander. It has blown open that dot so that the majority can take their rightful place, can put that rightful stake for their ancestral lands, for their assets, for their freedom, for their progress. That's what Ninas is. And that's what all of you here are, and that's why you're here. So welcome again. And again, today we're going to be talking about what is coming up, right? We'll talk a little bit about what Ninas has done. Then we will talk a little bit about what's the impact of that. And then we'll talk about the Million Man March, because I'm sure all of you are here and you're excited to hear about that. And you're also excited to hear the things that are going to be upcoming. So I am going to introduce a couple of people that are going to be part of the process here. Sheung is here, and he is with Ilana, and so he's going to be part of the discussion as we move along. And we are going to open up different sections where where people can ask questions and where people can make comments. But we are going to, unfortunately, limit that to a very short period of time, like a minute. So I am just letting everyone right now just write down your questions, okay? Write down your questions so that you can make it very tight so that we can keep the time. We don't want to be here for very long because we know that your Saturdays are important to you. And so please write it down. And then for those of you who are shy, you can put your questions in the chat, and we will, as time permits, we will ask those questions here and provide the answers. But we've got a group of people, again, who are in the audience that will be answering those questions. We've got Donald, who's from the South. He is going to be part of the team answering those questions. And I'm sure I'm missing a lot of people because a lot of people are coming on right now. But never fear, your questions are going to get answered. So I think that to kick it off, I'm going to make a quick check. Just give me a minute. Let me just make a quick check with Donald and see where he is at. And then we can continue. But I am going to be waiting for the signal for when the leaders start coming on board, and we will, always kind of pause to deal with that, just because there's a lot of issues these days, it appears, with connection to Nigeria. So we're going to get started, and then as they come on board and I get notified, so Sheung and Donald, etc., make sure you guys let me know when you see them, because I am not able to see that. I think that Prof has signed up. Is that correct, Sheung?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, that's correct. Awesome. That is fantastic. One of the things that we want to be able to do is to be able to get them on as soon as they get on, just so that we don't have those issues with connection. So I'm just going to, Sheung, if you can confirm that he is actually ready to start, then that way I will let you introduce him. Okay, and then we can get started and get him on. And I'm just going to, I know you're trying to admit people, and I know Donald is doing the same. I'm going to help out because a lot of people are chiming in, and so we have a lot of people coming aboard. So, Sheung, if he is ready, we can actually get started with that piece of it, and you can introduce it.
Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone, wherever you are joining from. Our leader is ready, Professor Akintoye. It's already here. And I can confirm to you he's ready. Baba, are you there, sir? Can you hear?
Yes, I am. Thank you. I greet you all. I greet you all with hope and pride.
Amen.
Hope. Yes, hope that we are going to walk and get our nation liberated from the squalor of Nigeria very soon. And pride that I'm working with the strong young minds who want to get it done. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be among you. I'm very proud of you all.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Prof. And I know everyone is excited to hear about the bold steps that Nnadi is taking. And also, I'm sure they're also ready to hear from you about this alliance and how it's coming together. So if you can give us some words around that, that would be fantastic.
Okay. Well, the person to really thank most for this alliance is Tony Nnadi. He, from his position as an erudite lawyer, he looked at our problems and the Constitution And he came to the very clear and easily visible conclusion that our problem in the South and the Middle Belt are all wrapped together in the 1999 Constitution. That is why some people claim that they have a right to be in our land, to kill, to maim, to destroy. And why the government of Nigeria is telling us that they do have a right to be there. That's one. That's also the reason. The 1999 Constitution is also the reason that the resources of our parts of Nigeria are being wrapped together and given to the North, essentially to the North. And when we complain that it is the dictate of the 1999 Constitution, they say we have given our people over to Nigeria under the 1999 Constitution. We have given the resources of our land. We have given our loyalty and everything to Nigeria on the basis of the 1999 Constitution. And so,
everyone, please mute your line. Mute your line. Everyone, please mute your line. Sorry, Prof.
Oh, thank you. And so Tony sat down and had a good look at this 1999 Constitution, this monster called the 1999, and discovered that if we can get rid of it, we can retrieve our freedom, we can retrieve our self-determination, we can retrieve our dignity as peoples. And we have been trying to put it together. The big question was how were we to proceed? So we decided that all the oppressed peoples of Nigeria, the indigenous peoples of Nigeria, from the Middle Belt to the Atlantic Ocean, are unified in suffering and deprivation in Nigeria. And that what we need to for strength is to create an alliance. And so we walk towards an alliance. And I'm very happy that we do have the alliance, because now it has become a very major force in the struggles of our peoples. We are ready to go as far as is necessary to retrieve our freedom. We took the first major step in December 2020. Mm-hmm. In December 2020, when we came before the Nigerian people and before the world to proclaim that the 1999 Constitution is a fraud, that we are not bound by it because we were not party to the making of it, and that we were going to take step after step after step until we totally liberate ourselves. They thought we were joking. Then 2 months, 3 months later, we gathered in Ibadan, and we took the next step. And a week or so ago, we took the next step. So we are progressing steadily, logically, legally, and sustainably to work for the liberation and dignity of our people under the aegis of NINAS, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. The basis of our action are simply that a minority in the north, led by the Fulani and bolstered up by a subdued people, the Hausa, both of them together constituting a minority in Nigeria, have appropriated unto themselves all the powers and benefits of state in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
They control the powers of state at the federal center. And they use that to do a whole lot of horrible things to us. I want you to know that this is a continuation of the old trouble of the Western Asiatic peoples pressing down on the black peoples of Africa,
Mm-hmm.
destroying the creators of the ancient civilization of Egypt, and perpetually pushing the black peoples further and further south.
Mm-hmm.
Muammar Gaddafi in one Arab conference said, listen, let the more than 2/3 of us Arabs are already in Africa. Let the remaining 1/3 leave and come and join us, because Africa is the Labenstrom for the Arabs, the living space for the Arabs. That is the attitude that peoples like the Fulani, who are who claim some connections with the Arabs, so that the Ahmadu Bello said that he was a grandson of Prophet Muhammad. We respect Prophet Muhammad for what he did for the world. We respect the religion of Islam. But we do not respect people who are using it as a tool to subdue and destroy peoples. Mm-hmm. And so we refuse to bow down to the subjugation by the Fulani, bolstered up by the demographic numbers of the Hausa, the oppression, and that they are going to get out of the oppression. When they are ready, we will be ready to.
Connectivity issue. Be patient. He's gonna come back.
We are working together. We have pushed the government off our shoulders to some extent now.
Yep.
Our governors, if they will use what we have already created for them, can put the federal government in Abuja off their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they do not have that type of courage, but we will go on nevertheless.
Yep.
The truth will win in the end, and God will be glorified. Thank you very much. That's NINAS, an alliance of the Yoruba of the Southwest, of the Igbo of the Southeast, of the many peoples of the South, and the many peoples of the Middle Belt, all together amounting to about 75% of the population of Nigeria and the territorial land of Nigeria. So we are not a minority. We take strength in our largeness and our majority. As we in a time of trouble in the Southwest used to say to people who thought they could subdue us, only the bigger fish can swallow the smaller. Mm-hmm. The bigger fish is now in the process of liberating itself and pushing the smaller fish away.
Yep.
God bless you all. God bless the Ninas. God bless the minority peoples of the Middle Belt. God bless the peoples of the South. God bless the Igbo nation. Thank you very much.
You are muted. You are muted.
Thank you, Prof, for that very, very uplifting message. I am not going to be saying much right now, but I'm going to ask everyone to mute your line. Thomas Mankole, please mute your line. Everybody, please mute your line. We do have the Secretary General of NINAS, Barrister Nnadi. Thomas Mankole, please mute your line. So we do have Tony Nnadi, and I am going to ask him. There's a lot of people here, so Donald, if you can find him, or Sharon, if you can find him, to ask him to mute his line. I think we have to. That would be awesome. There you are. Okay, Tony, you are welcome. And Prof, if you can please stay on, so that I'm sure there's going to be a couple of questions for the both of you. Thank you very much, Tony. You are quite welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Welcoming everybody, and special greetings to Prof. I'm just, you can see I'm in motion. I just came out from a meeting, going heading to another meeting, almost 40 kilometers from where I set out from. But thank God for technology, we're able to connect at this time. Yes, I second all of what Prof has said concerning where things are now. And I just want to tell our people that we have defeated this monster. The monster is struggling to see whether there is a way it can get its bearings back. And that those bearings relate to whether they're going to drag our people towards elections, or to create kind of, intimidate some. All kinds of things are being thrown around. And I'm sure most of us saw the interview in which the Commodore was talking about who was responsible for what. The Commodore or Lawi. That was happening on a Wednesday, straight from the Friday where on AIT, I had gone out, with Professor Turaki. Nina's, what the Nina's is saying was framed by the AIT, and the questions were put to us as to why we're getting the international community to shut down on Nigeria in terms of arms that were being supplied by the US and its allies, and in terms of the loans, the request loans that were being obtained in the name of Nigeria, the disputed project. And so, like Prof already told us, Professor Akintoye already told us, we have put in place a framework within which we can exercise the power of that majority against this minority that is refusing to reason, against this minority that is bent on killing off the owners of the land to take over the land. If anybody is still in any doubt as to the mission of that minority, as to the ethnic cleansing going on, as to the mechanism by which they are able to do what they are doing as a stranger minority, I'm sure some of us had Professor Sibajo, the Vice President, talking about apartheid. He's alleging on their behalf, just like he came to the US to try to tell the Americans that no killings were taking place. Yemi Sibajo is telling us that in gathering ourselves as indigenous nationalities for in an alliance for self-determination, that we were committing apartheid. I'm sure many people heard him yesterday. That will tell you that the strategy of putting everybody together on one side against the ones who are killing in all these places, the Fulani that is killing in all the places. No Ijo is killing Yoruba people. No Ogun is killing Chief people. No Igbo is killing black people. So in all of it, what we have in place already puts them as the minority they are. What we have in place already locks down that constitution of 99 that empowers them in every way. What we have in place already made sense to the international stakeholders, the world powers and the powers that be. Even the UN in sending the rapporteur mission that came in 2019. What we have is enough to break the hands that held all our assets in terms of what the Constitution sees from us. What we have is enough to put guns in our hands because it's that Constitution that took the guns away from us. What we have is enough to get us to where we recover our land and our sovereignty. Since it is our signature that is sustaining that instrument by which that minority is doing what it's doing in our collective name. The Nigerian Union is dead. The Nigerian Union cannot be that constitution cannot be the basis of people pointing guns at us and selling 3 million barrels of crude oil every day and sharing the money in our name and coming to our spaces to kill and terrorize in the name of a Nigeria that is not our project under the constitution they impose on us. So that's the situation. Where we are now, the reason we are mobilizing everybody to come to the rally in question so that the world community can see and hear from us that our union as defined by that constitution is at an end. So that whatever there's work going on inside Nigeria, there's work going on in several other locations, including Washington and elsewhere, so that what we're doing, people must stand by that proclamation. The demands of that proclamation is our demand, that we will not go to election under that constitution any further, that we must go into transition to begin to discuss what will become referendums to decide our future, and all of that. The international community must see that seriousness. We can see what has happened in Afghanistan, that we have the Taliban that had infused itself into the Taliban military, into the Afghan military. We were closer to what has happened in Afghanistan under the regime in which the people who are the terror network is being infused into our army. If we pretend about that, well, it's all about pretense. And so we're just encouraging everybody to realize that we have a golden opportunity to overtake this monster. If we do not seize that opportunity, they are also working their ways to see whether they can delay us a little and be able to deploy their own mechanism. It is the election of 2023, whether we want to proceed towards that election under this constitution, because that will then be endorsing giving the constitution a new lease of life. And we can target to take down what is left inside the third quarter of 2021, not in 2023. Inside 2021, the global community must wake up to realize that we have repudiated that constitution and we say we will not go to any further elections under it. Once we do that, we are domino 2 in our roadmap. And that's it. From that day, we can pick up guns, because that will be the day it becomes clear that everything the constitution held back from us, our access, our right to police our areas, and all kinds of things will be returned to us in the transition that will then follow. We decide what we'll do with the future. I think it's just for us to understand that now the international community must see us, must hear it from us, we must see that we are determined to proceed into our right to self-determination as guaranteed by the instrument of 2007. That's why I think I want to hang it.
Awesome. That is absolutely great. And I think everyone, even those who did not know what was going on, got a lot from that. But can you kind of speak a little bit to the nations? Because the questions that people ask is, these are not nations, right? Can you talk a little bit about, what were these nations, those regions in the past, are those considered to be nations? Do we have the right to self-determination? Can you just answer that? And then I'll go back to Prof to ask another question.
Yes. the way it is, the answer is a straight yes. The constituent component nationalities of Nigeria each has a right to self-determination. Let us get this straight. I was directly involved in the instrument that emerged from the UN in 2007. We had called a meeting of the owners of Nigeria, the ethnic owners of Nigeria, the one that came out as Bonaco countrywide. There were some Fulani, of course, that have been here for some time, and we said, okay, everybody come. The Jaw came as a Jaw, Yoruba came as Yoruba, Yoboni came as Oboni, Igbo came as Igbo. And we had this, 2005, 2006, these discussions that went from Lagos to Port Harcourt, to Enugu, to Jos, to Kano, coming back to Lagos, discussing the union itself. Do we still want to continue in the union? And if yes, on what terms? And then we came out with an outcome. The Fulani were also in attendance. Buhari was part of the Fulani delegation that came to that meeting. Sayed Abubakar was part of Fulani, the one that is Sultan in Sokoto now, was part of the Fulani delegation. The US sent observer mission as at that time. European Union sent observer mission as at that time. The people who were angry enough to carry arms against Nigeria at the time were all persuaded. The Asaris of this world, the Canadians of this world. And so, by the time we finished, because we knew it would boil down to the kind of thing we are now witnessing, we said we could solve it when government was delaying from calling a meeting. And so, from the time we finished, we were now thinking of the enforcement. What are we going to do to enforce this consensus? Because we all agree that it has to be a federation one more time. And it was in the preparation for the enforcement of that new consensus that was like reviving our booty for everybody, that we now had to look in the direction of the UN to secure the right so that we're not accused of treason. And it was in that period that I had to prevail on, I had to plead with, and in fact, it wasn't a big problem to request Professor Wole Soyinka, to go to his friend Kofi Annan at the UN, so that instrument that could help us can be made available at the time we will need it. Luckily, he went, and we succeeded in getting the UN to take a vote on the matter one more time, having secured the few countries they said we needed to secure, because the countries that had self-determination issues at home were all in an alliance to block that instrument that entitled us to what we seek. The relief we seek from Nigeria today is called self-determination. But it accrues to you if you are an ethnic, a distinct ethnic group in your ancestral space. And so we organize ourselves sufficiently to say, if the Yoruba standing on Yoruba land, Ijo standing on Ijo land, Igbo standing on Igbo land, Chief standing in Chief land, are all qualified, we only need to organize ourselves to approach the UN and the powers that be at the Security Council and the UN to say we now want to exercise that right. Our constitution was imposed by a small segment, a small section of Nigeria, and they're killing us. Those are the things we put in place. So that instrument called United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples that came in 2007 is the remedy for the kind of thing we are complaining about in Nigeria. Our self-determination have been confiscated in the constitution that we didn't make, but which is now basis for these strangers owning our assets, owning our lands, owning our lives, and killing us without consequence. And so that UN instrument is very much available to us, and we've organized ourselves in a manner that has been discussed in the power places across the world. That was why the US, the EU, and the UK between the 28th and 30th of April, that was why they pointed Nigeria to that solution. They told Nigeria point blank that you can't resort to guns in this debate. We have raised the sovereignty dispute. The global community was telling Nigeria that in this dispute, your guns cannot feature, not your guns, not our guns. That the meeting of the owners of Nigeria become necessary for them to arrive at fresh legal instrument. The world powers have spoken to Abuja, and anybody who is still being intimidated about what the Fulani will do or the government of Nigeria will do should please dress back and look at what has happened between December 2020 and now. We have completed our consultations. The whole world now knows that Nigeria is a disputed country. That's why all the things that are happening. So I think I'll leave it there.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tony. I think Jane appears to have been picked off by, I don't know, its network or something, that they just noticed an intrusion that I had to take out the intrusion. I do not know if we have, if it's time for us to take questions from a few hands that are up for the Secretary General and the Chairman to respond. Please, can we all mute our mics, those that are not speaking? Can we mute our mics, Peter?
The host or the co-host can mute everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone is muted now.
My pen is big. My pen is big. My pen is big. Pen is.
Okay, Mr. Abel, please do not accept any more person without the original names. That's how you avoid those things. If they don't have our Igbo name, avoid accepting it, please.
Yeah, we've been infiltrated, that's all.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to suspend admitting people for now while I mute everybody. And for those that are going to be called to speak, I will only send you a request to admit. Okay, we are going to start with Hassan. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Are you there?
Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning in some part of America. My question to the two speakers. First, I thank them for coming to give us this information. They are very, very informative, if I may. But my question to them is, we've been relying on these international communities for too long. And I just came back from home. I was in Nigeria for about a month. I had the opportunity of traveling to the Yoruba state, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo state. And I realized that this project that we are very, very serious about, majority of people in Nigeria are not even interested in the project for reason best known to them. Are we going to continue to intensify our education of the people back home, or are we basically going to rely on the international community to help us get out of these doldrums? Thank you.
Yeah, if I'm allowed to take the question, moderator, please.
Okay, Minister, you can go ahead, Mr. Tony.
Right. I'm inside that Nigeria, and I can report to you that if you go back to we had a roadmap for how to execute the plans we had, and in the period from December 16th of 2020, when we activated this force majeure, not many people knew that anything was going on at all, because it was basically 80% covered. Most of what we were doing were being done, outside the view of the enemy that was wondering. The enemy didn't know that anything was going on. And because we had to preserve it to the point where everybody was ready to now come into this phase, we didn't have to go shouting about it. So our people are also just now waking up to the fact that there's such a grand design, bringing the whole of the South and the Middle Belt on one side, taking on that constitution that they created. They didn't know that the constitution was the problem. They thought it was the leadership. They thought it was corruption. They thought it was all kinds of things. They didn't know it was the constitution that took electricity from them. They didn't know it was the constitution that took security from them. And so it was only after that activation of the force majeure in December of 2020 that we came to the 90 days. We waited for the federal government. They rushed to National Assembly. The 30 days, the state governors went to Asaba. They neither here nor there. And then the 120 days that just passed, we divided it into three of sensitization, mobilization, and enforcement. We are not God to say that we must finish this. This problem took over 250 years. From the time the slave trade ended and people began to get into colonial, ventures that led to Berlin Conference of coming to formalize all of that, and everything that has happened from 1914 to date to us as a country, as peoples, locked in together here. This problem took over 250 years to create. And we drew up a 20-year plan in 1999 to try to unravel it. And we have succeeded in unraveling that constitution. There's nothing that's going to save it except we go back to sleep. If we do just one more thing to tell the global community that we're not going to elections under this, it's not the matter of how many people come to do rowdy things on the street. The meeting I'm coming from now was one in which we were having a physical meeting, but there were several other locations where people were monitoring, people were participating in that meeting from afar. So the technology available enables us to spread it. And the whole plan, if we understand it, the whole plan is something that we just need to do the little we're asked to do. The question of relying. Am I still there?
Yes, you are here. Sorry, I had to unmute everybody again. To unmute you.
Yes. What we needed, we are not relying on the international community in the manner that is being suggested. We are doing what we need to do so that they can come to do what they have to do for themselves. When we went to the US, we didn't tell them to come and save us from anybody. We told them that ISIS, that was at war with them, has come to our space, and that our president is submitting the sovereign assets of Nigeria, including Nigeria's military arsenal, to them, and that if the US and the other people who are, fighting the terror will not wake up in time, that the global community will have to pay a big price. It was from that perspective that it became a national security question for the US and its allies. And so we're not waiting for them, because when we talk the way we talk, without looking at what exactly the whole framework and proposition is, it becomes debilitated. We have sorted out what we need to do on our own side to take down that constitution. Our alliance is on track for taking down that constitution. And what we need to do to get it to the point of lockdown, that will then, force the transition for how we go to referendum, is all in our hands to do. And therefore, the international community that we needed to talk to are the ones who have already blocked the sale of weapons to Nigeria, are the ones who already told Nigeria that they must go to a dialogue of the people, are the ones who have already told Nigeria that they already deny Nigeria loan. They're already treating Nigeria as a disputed project. And so that's what we have. And with what has happened in Afghanistan, the US did not listen to the locals at the time, but on our own case, they listened to us for 7 months in 2019. They have framed policy decisions on Nigeria that are adequate, to solving this problem the way we are in control of it. They don't want to send boots on ground into foreign places. We knew that, which was why we offered them our local initiative that could solve their own national security problem. That's where we are now. Those who are marketing the plan should at least pay attention to know exactly what we're taking to the marketplace. What we need to do is 75% of the whole task, and the international community will be able to do the little that concerns them. And so that's the question. That's the answer I want to give.
Yes. The big question that people are asking, Tony has answered it considerably, but the important thing is this. My brother who said he was in Lagos State or Ogun State or Oyo State, I didn't see much of evidence. I'm surprised about that, because I would say that the youths of the Southwest have done an enormous amount of work in spreading the message. There's no doubt about that. they decided that we were going to hold a number of rallies. And we held the first one in Ibadan. About 1.2 million people were present. And we thought, wow, we can never get it bigger than this. After all, Ibadan is our biggest city. Some days later, we held another one in Abeokuta, and it was a lot bigger than the Ibadan one. And everybody concluded, well, Abeokuta has stolen the prize. Nobody can ever have a rally as big as that again. And then we went to Osogbo, and Osogbo was much bigger than Abeokuta. And Akura was much bigger than Osogbo, and Ado-Ekiti came out surprised the whole of the Yoruba nation. People came from all over Yoruba land to all this rally. Our young people were traveling around, mobilizing themselves, spreading the message. And as I'm talking to you now, there are many of our civic organizations that are going from village to village, telling the people, forming local committees to spread the message. So, and I know the same, in fact, on a more radical scale, has been happening in the homeland of the Igbo people. They have, unfortunately, gone into this spirit of confrontation. But gradually, I'm sure that they will get to know that if we do this together, the way it is being done in other places, and we are able to evolve one voice that we can go before the United Nations and other international institutions, agencies with, we can win. We can win. As Tony has said, we have succeeded in getting the rich countries of the world to refuse to sell guns to Nigeria. And what was their reason? The reason is that we know they have been coming to tell us that they are going to use the guns, the weapons, to fight terrorism. But we now know that they are not using the guns to fight terrorism. They are using the guns to kill their own people, their own citizens. And so we will not sell guns to them anymore. That's a major victory for us. A very major victory. And we have also reached a point after we made the statement that Nigeria is now a disputed project. A disputed project. And anybody who loans money to Nigeria, who gives any loan to Nigeria, is taking a big risk. Because we who are disputing the Nigerian project may, in some future time, face the loan givers and tell them, we warned you. We gave your money to the wrong place. And so now, the general picture is that Nigeria is finding it extremely difficult to raise loans anywhere. And the Nigerian situation is getting worse and worse at home. The Nigerian naira is plunging. It is now close to 580 naira to the dollar. Only a year ago, it was 380, 390. And some people are now jokingly predicting that the naira will still be 1,000 to the dollar. It can't happen. Meanwhile, the government has never really desired to control violence and insecurity. But insecurity is now going far, far beyond their worst expectations. So much so that even the Sultan of Sokoto said 2 or 3 days ago that the killings in Nigeria are being grossly underreported. That's a very big one. And southern parents are beginning to withdraw their youth from universities in the north. In fact, state governors are helping to put vehicles on the way to go and evacuate the students of their states from some northern universities. The country is already in the direction of disintegration. And I'm not saying that we are entirely responsible for it. The circumstances themselves make Nigeria increasingly untenable, unsustainable. So we have our opportunity in our hand. All we need to do is to increase our spread of the message to our people. Tell our young men not to put themselves in the hands of danger. Don't go and attack the police and the military. We don't need to do those things in order to win our states, in order to win our sovereign countries. We don't. We can win our sovereign countries the way that it's been done in some other parts of Nigeria. So we must reach our young people everywhere. They are all our children. For an old man like me, those are my children and grandchildren. I'm pained. It pains me heavily when I hear that they are dying. I don't want them to die. So we must tell them, well, you don't have to die. You must live for your country. You are the ones who are going to build your country of the future.
Yes.
Don't go and risk your life and die.
No.
Who is going to build your country when you die? So those are the things we need to do. We need to come out frontally. Ninas needs to come out frontally to attack the idea, the tendency present in some parts of Nigeria among the youths of the nationalities that are members of Ninas. Tendency towards attempting to achieve success through violence. We can achieve the success otherwise. I'm sure that the pressures that we are mounting, I know it's not that we are not guessing. I know that the pressures that we are mounting are beginning to have an impact for a country to face the open denial by many governments of the sale of arms to them. It's a very major impact. For a country to find it difficult to raise loans, it's a very major impact. We are reaching a point at which the governments of Nigeria may not be able to pay salaries to public servants. And we are also reaching a point at which some of the governors will begin to have courage. The governor of Rivers State has astounded all of us. The government of Rivers State has astounded all of us by making a law prohibiting the federal collection of VAT taxes in Rivers State. Many of us are already telling our governors, one governor can do that, and you do that for us too. Yes, the tires are already falling off the vehicle. The tires are already falling off the vehicle. All we need is to keep on the pressure, and the vehicle will finally grind to a halt. I know we can win. I am sure we can win. And I pray that we will win. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Prof. And I know everyone is excited about the Million Man March, the Ninas Million Man March, that is bringing all of the Alliance territory together. And we are going to be in New York starting September 14th to the 20th. And we're actually going to have the march on the 14th and the 15th. And Prof wanted to see if you can talk about how we are unifying and the call to unify everyone behind this march so that it will be wildly successful. If you could speak on that, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, rally, march, and so on, that is the province of our youth. And I want to thank you, our people, that you are already putting on the arrangement. And all the other leaders of NINA are very NINA to get their people in the diaspora, especially in America, to rise up and join the rally. I've spoken to our leaders in the Middle Belt, and they are ready. They are sending messages to their people. You will see more and more of Middle Belt people we are going to exceed the 1 million man mark. We probably will go on as far as 2 million, 3 million people in front of the United Nations, 14th of September. But I must leave it to you to make your arrangements. As your father, I expect. That is, you announce to us now your arrangements, and we can help you to spread the message. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. What about those in the other continents? Can they fly in and support if they are able to? Are we just inviting everyone to come since it's such a pivotal point?
Yeah, the message that
Iran ló sọ fún mi lánàá. Wọ́n kàn listen sí ọ̀rọ̀ bàbá Akintoye ní ìgbà náà.
Can
you please meet everybody? And you just meet everybody, please.
Yes, I muted her already. Sorry about that, Prof. If you can go ahead.
That's all right. That's it. So the ball is in your court. Our younger people, tell us, how are you going to put it together to get 5 million people in front of the United Nations headquarters?
Okay, folks, you heard it here first. He's saying 5 million. That's a call to everyone that is in this room and those who are not here. So Prof. Akintoye is calling for 5 million people to show up. Everyone around the globe should be youth. You are being vacant because it's your future that is at stake. It's your heritage. It's your culture. It's your freedom. It's your religion. It's your progress. That is what is at stake. So thank you very much, Prof. Akintoye. If you have final words, if you want to, we'll take a couple of questions from people if you still have time to stay with us. I don't know if Tony is still here as well. I see Tony is still here. So we'll take a couple of questions and they'll let us know when they're leaving. And we're really excited to have you here. So Donald, I think you were tracking who raised their hand first. If you can call the first person, that would be awesome.
Ade Jamil, you can go next. Ade Jamil.
Okay. Thank you for receiving me. So I want to thank Baba for being there for us. So I'm Tajuddin Ade Jamil. I'm the Secretary of Nigeria, American Mega Rally, Yoruba Nation American Mega Rally. So hello?
Joseph, if you unmute your line, I will remove you.
So my question is, what else are we need to do in order to make sure that Nigerian government is not receiving loan as they are used to? Because the way it is now, it's like they are taking our resources for the loans they are getting from international community. What do we need to do in order to stop that henceforth? That's my question. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a progression. Already people are hesitating to grant them loans. People are pointing out to them, your country says you are a disputed enterprise. So then lending money to you is risky. We must continue to make it appear more and more risky. And the Million Man March before the United Nations sends a message more powerfully than anything we have done before. You can be sure that after that, it will become a lot more difficult for for Nigeria to raise loans abroad. It will become more difficult also to have any nation abroad dealing with Nigeria as it is. So we need to make that powerful show of rejection of Nigeria, and the world will begin to listen more to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that.
Am I allowed to leave now?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We are so thankful that you were able to join in, and that the lines were very good, so that we could hear you clearly. That was just such a great and motivating speech for everyone, and the answers. And we know that we are going to succeed. And everyone here just wants to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we will continue now. We have Tony and Nnadi. I'm going to check on you to see if you have any more time to spend with us, or if you need to leave also.
Yeah, I will leave in a short while. What I will add to.
Go ahead.
Yes, I could take a couple of questions. I'm stuck in traffic.
Okay, well that works out well for us then. Donald, if you can call the next person.
So as it were,
Ayatunde Adebayo, are you there?
Hold on, Donald.
Let me just add something to what Prof had talked about in terms of the significance of our going there. Our messaging, we're in touch with the rally organizers to craft our messaging so that the international community that will be looking at it will be able to take away exactly what we're saying. Because if we go saying some kinds of things that don't tie into what they are able to do for us, they must know that we have rejected that union. They must know we are insisting on a transition and referendums, because that transition settles their mind about anarchy. That's their biggest fear, anarchy in Nigeria. So if it is Ninas that is coming to say we can't proceed to another election, they must get it very clearly that we reject further elections under the. If we craft our messages, our message for the rally, so that when they look at it, it may be 5 main things we will say that will tie together. If these people are saying they reject the union as defined by this imposition, if they say they reject further elections under the constitution, and they're saying they want to go to transition, if they're saying that it's referendum now and nothing else, let it register in their head that that's what we're saying. Because if we come saying, give us a good republic, give us a thief republic, yes, it serves in saying that we are fed up with Nigeria, but we will be confusing our message. Let them know that we are organized. Let them know that there will be a transition to avoid anarchy. Let them know that it is referendum we are asking for, and that we are saying nobody should support it, that we are not going to election, neither should they support further elections. They've managed South Africa before. They managed the transition from apartheid, so they have an idea of the process, which is what Nina's carefully crafted into our demands, into the 5 points of demand. So the organizers will have to, we will liaise a bit more in the background to clear up to clean up our message so that it can tie into what they can do, not the things that just pop out of our heads and we just go throwing it at them there. That's what I wanted to add to that. If we do it well and they're able to take out the demand, yes, the number is good, but they should be able to come to the conclusion that this is what these people want, and that thing they say they want ties into their own, framework to be able to solve. If for instance you come and say you want Biafra, without a map, the UN has not opened any file. I can report to us authoritatively. The UN has not opened any file concerning Biafra since after 1967 to 70 to date. They know that our people in the past are fed up with the Union of Nigeria. But what is the map of that Biafra that they want now? Have they discussed it with their neighbors who are involved in that map? It is self-determination that we want. It is independence that we want. We have to put a process to it. We are not doing it in terms of, we're not saying we're going to behead everybody so that we can have it. Because if you solve your own and the other people have not solved their own, we have to see that the international community will have to see us as civilized, as people who are able to manage their affairs, people who are able to discuss around the big tables and take away what will solve their problem. So the organizers will have to have it. They have to bear in mind that it is called self-determination. That's their language. If we say we don't want to go to another election, that puts a time frame to it. If we say it's referendum, that they will know we're not working towards anarchy because we have offered transition. Those are the things I thought I want to add, so that the organizers can, all of those who be on ground at the time will have it in mind. Let's go to the next question, please.
Donald, can you bring up the next person? And I'm going to make this announcement again. If you unmute your line, because we've said this several times, we will simply remove you. We are not going to continue to do that. You will just get removed. So please, watch your lines. And if you're going to ask a question, you cannot have iPad or iPhone. You must have your name. Everyone that's asking a question must have your name. So please, Donald, if you can call on the next person, that would be great.
Ayatunde, are you there? Prince Ayatunde is not there, so we move to Burkina or listen. Burkina, they can go ahead. Burkina, sorry.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. I think we might not really have enough time to ask questions. I have Mr. Chris Akintoye. Can you ask a question on my behalf? Mr. Chris Akintoye.
Mr. Chris, you can go ahead and mute yourself. Mr. Chris, you're muted. Please, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone in the house. My name is Chris Akintoye from Toronto, Canada. Yeah, the question that he wants to know is regarding the youth. How do you incorporate youth element into this program that you are doing? Because in Nigeria now the youths are already, it's like there's no coordination and everything is just somehow. So he wants to know. He has been interested in knowing a program for the youth. That's his own question. So I don't know if you have any explanation how you want to bring youth into this program. Thank you.
Very quickly. The meeting I'm coming from now had in attendance the leaders of the youth networks from this part of the country, so that it's not something that we make contacts with the leaders of the ones we could identify, the leaders of NSAS, as far back as the time they were doing their NSAS. To get them, they had 40 names to tell you that we had them at the center of our plan. They had 40 names that they were going to put as signatories to the constitutional force majeure. A few hours, almost past midnight of the day before the announcement, some of them reasoned that at that time, the government was looking frantically, because the government never really identified who organized that NSAS up to that time. And so, if they trusted us enough at the time to make themselves known to us and to put their names down, that it might jeopardize their participation if they sign up and then begin, because their network of organizing can easily be identified by government. Since some of them were also seen in course of the commotion, but their roles were not known. And so it became the decision on the night, overnight of that 16th of this, that's the 15th that became 16th, at about midnight. They called us to say, please, don't pull our names out. We'll be endangering the project because the government will be more interested since they have criminalized what we are doing, and they say they are looking for many of us. You know, the government declared them wanted and were doing all kinds of things, blocking their accounts. They said they will be more effective within our midst if their names are not listed in that manner, so that they can continue to use their anonymity to the advantage of the whole project. So we're connected with them at that level. Then the nationalities, we also got them to bring forward their youth, their youth wings. There are summits. As I speak with you, there are summits that have been planned. Just youth summits to bring it closer to them, even in form of town halls across the alliance territories. So I'm just assuring you that with the youth are being incorporated, even using the church networks, all the youth, because all the organizations that have youth wings, we're using them to also reach those youths, to let them know that it is their future that is being salvaged, so that they have to take their position in it, but not dealing with it as something some people have to do and bring down to them. They are the ones who have to do it, but we have to guide them and incorporate them. That's what it is. They are fully they are being incorporated as fully as we can most.
Thank you.
Okay, and Chris, if I may add to that, we are also working on, like you said, what plans do we have? We also have plans of going into high institutions, meeting with student union governments, making them understand what the inner strategy is all about. We are going to spend time. We're going to run things like town hall meetings with these leaders in high institutions. And with them, when they understand what we will be able to reach out to students that we are going to, because we're actually working on having a very strong unit of creating the lockdown moving forward. Thank you. And the next person in line will be
this is Praise Ayotunde Adebayo. You called me, but did not permit me to unmute.
Sorry, before you go,
to unmute me.
Yes,
Okay, hang on a second. Okay, everybody, time out. Have a timeout. And we will call you, Donald, if you can make note of that. I'm going to bring up Shayun right now because we have one of our leaders that need to make a comment. And as I explained in the beginning, for those of you who have just joined us, this is Nina's Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, which is the alliance from the Middle Belt to the South, that has really put together the plan that we are all working under. That's all of us in the alliance territory. So you guys are all welcome. And we will be pausing from time to time to let our leaders have a discussion, and then we will continue. So Shaun, if you can please introduce the next speaker, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, everyone. Permit me to invite the chairman of ELAN, Professor Wale Adeniro. He has 1 or 2 minutes message to all Yoruba Self-Determination Group. Chairman, if you are there, you can unmute yourself and speak, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Shaun. Thank you very much, Jean. I want to commend Prof. Akintoye, Tony Nnadi, and all leaders of NINAS for the wonderful work you've been doing. I want to appeal. My appeal goes straight to all the Yoruba self-determination groups in the US. By whatever name your organization is called, I appeal to you and I plead with you to please cooperate with NINAS. The 1 million man march of 14th September to the 20th is a NINAS project, bringing peoples, all the indigenous peoples of the 4 zones earlier mentioned together. There is strength in numbers. There is strength in unity. I therefore appeal to you to please join hands with NINAS. Whatever you want to contribute, at whatever level you think you want to come in, please get in touch with NINAS. so that you can be adequately incorporated into the planning and the execution of this million-man march. And we are not making, there's no discrimination whatsoever. All Yoruba groups are welcome. All Yoruba groups are welcome. And everybody will be given equal treatment. Please, I plead, no rivalry, no competition, it's just cooperation, collaboration to ensure that we all recover our sovereignty and get out of this prison called Nigeria. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so very much. That is so important, and that's one of the things that we really want to be able to talk about here, because again, for those of you who were not here earlier when we talked about it, I'm sure you remember when the President Buhari made mention to the dot, how they had isolated the dot and defeated the dot. Well, all of you here who are part of leaders, you are the dot expander, right? We have expanded that dot to where it is all the way from the Middle Belt to the South. The majority of the people that are in the country, the indigenous people of the country, and I dare say there are lots of indigenous people in the far north that are indigenous and are not part of this craziness that's going on in our country right now. But that's really important for us to come together from the perspective of having our voices be so much louder, having economies of scale, right? And just really working. When you work together, you have that collaboration. It makes it so much better for us later on when we are in our own space and control our own destinies. We will have that already in place because we're already doing it. So welcome everyone again. And Donald, if you want to call on, I think it was in Legeru, to ask a question. Yeah, Tony is still with us, and so he can answer some questions.
Right.
Go ahead.
Let the question be asked.
Am I allowed to ask the question now? This is Prince Ayotunde. I was called earlier, but
yes, go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question, please. Go ahead.
I have a question and a suggestion for the rally. So the question was supposed to go to Professor Banji Akintoye, being that we were informed that probably during the General Assembly meeting. So we don't know any update on that, if they're still coming, because we are already making preparation to make sure that we are able to go in to the meeting. So we don't know if they're still coming or not. That's number one. So my suggestion in reference to the rally, I think if we can all get to the United Nations building early enough and block their entrance to the building to create an attention for us, that would be a very good thing. So that's what I wanted to suggest. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that suggestion. And everyone will be getting information. So please, if this is the first time that you are attending a NINAS meeting, do please put your information, your phone number, and your email address in the chat, and we'll be keeping you informed. We'll also be providing the information for Ilana Omojua, so you can reach him directly. The NINAS information is already going out. Nabashayun to also providing the Ilana information. In the Yoruba Directorate, I haven't seen them. There's so many people I can't, see everyone. They're going to provide that information. The bottom line is we're all coming together. We're all going to be working under the NINAS umbrella. We're already pulling things together to make it work, and that's what's going to be important. So please provide your phone number and your email address. We'll pull you into the right platforms that you need to be on, and you'll be getting all the information straight from Professor, straight from Tony. He sends out information every day. There are the videos. There's all kinds of things that you can utilize to actually be able to move this movement towards success. Okay, thank you very much. And where is Donald? If you can bring
I'm right in here. Okay. The next person to ask a question will be Toyin Adeleke. Adeleke, are you there?
Yeah. Before the next question comes, please. There are the operational details. Some of the information, all the information relating to the match are available in the platforms that have been provided. So people just need to go there. But there are certain aspects of the information that become operational details that should not be disclosed there. For instance, this last suggestion about coming and blocking, there might be people reporting to people here. So those are not some of the things you can, because if they know you are coming to do that, because we are discussing it in this open forum, of course they're going to try to provide against that. And the information relating to the movement of the leaders of NINAs, we can put that out too early. The system is jittery. The system doesn't know what to do. They don't know where this massive thing is coming from. And so there are all kinds of other back channel, mechanisms of discussing those aspects that the system could want to work, with to impede in some way or the other. That's what I want. And then the matter of everybody being welcome. Yes, our focus should be presenting ourselves to the global community. The reason the US listened to us in 2019, at the time we went to tell them that ISIS had come to our place at the invitation of our government, was because they saw we came as that alliance. They saw that these 300 and something ethnic nationalities for the first time have organized themselves in a manner that presents a handle to a very complex problem they've been scratching their head about. And so on this occasion, imagine what impact it will make. Half of our task is done if we can come out as an alliance of the rest of Nigeria, isolating the source of our problem, isolating the people creating the problem and the constitution by which they've been operating. And so everybody is welcome, not just the Yoruba organization, the Ido organizations, the Igbo organizations, the Yoruba organizations, the TV organizations, everybody who is from that alliance. It doesn't matter what you were doing before. Now we're going before the people who can put their feet down, who can help solve the problem the way it will be less injurious to us. So this is the time to, put aside all of whatever was the quarrel before and come as long as from that be a part of within the plan that have been drawn up. What message are we presenting? How are we to conduct ourselves? With the people watching us, come to the conclusion that we're together in this one demand, and we want to head to referendum and not the election under that constitution. So I'm just pointing this out to say that everybody from everywhere is welcome, but it's not it is not this rally that will be used to show who is doing what different from the other. Let us present a common front before this global audience, so that the world can go to bed that same day, realizing that something has given, that the owners of Nigeria have rejected that Nigeria, and they insist now on a referendum, and that they organize in a process that the world can relate with. I think that's what I wanted to add.
Thank you very much for that, Tony. And yes, we are a peaceful process. This is a lawful process. And so, of course, we're getting the permits, we're working with the authorities in New York, and we're mapping out, the route. We're working with them to make sure that everything is done on the up and up. We don't have to be confrontational for us to get our message across. And that's one thing that everyone needs to understand, is that confrontation doesn't always get you to where you need to be. And we are going to go about this, have a show of force, be able to communicate the information in a very professional manner, display our culture, display our resolve, and make it clear that we're not going anywhere. The only way that we are going to be quiet is when our sovereignty is restored. And when the future of our children is no longer in danger, when the lives of the indigenous Nigerians from the middle belt to the south are no longer taken for nothing. When comments similar to one indigenous Nigeria is equal to 100 humans is equal to one cow, it's no longer heard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the reason I'm saying this is I want to give you some numbers. Think about this. 100 million, over 100 million Nigerians living in poverty. Did you hear me? Over 100 million Nigerians living in poverty. Do you want to know how many children are in that 100 million? Let's even say it's 40 million. Do you know what is happening to them? From the middle belt to the south, we have great intellectual horsepower, and we've seen it. Look anywhere in the world. Check out who is on top. Look at the top, and you will see the names from the middle belt to the south. If you starve the brains of 40 million children so that they don't develop to the level that they should, what are you doing to the future? I want you to put that image in your head. Every time you're thinking to yourself, I am tired, I can't move forward, think about those children. No food, wearing rags, with no shelter, no education, no hospitals, no healthcare system, no good roads, no good water, and being hunted. And then you will find the resolve to say no more. Our future must be guaranteed. Our land must be guaranteed. Our ancestral history must be guaranteed. And we move forward. We are moving forward. We're not going backwards. Failure is not an option, and we will not accept that. Donald, if you can call the next question.
Hello, Toyin. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening. I'm in Lagos and I'm from Ekiti State, but I reside in Lagos. Actually, several of the points I wanted to talk about have been talked about. Being able to reach out to students, then we need all our social media, the YouTubers, people that have millions of followers on social media. We need them involved because we need the youth. Now, the other time, one of our brothers said that maybe back home, he was surprised that people at home, we're not talking about this agitation the way the people abroad are doing that. No, we do. But remember, we at home, we are at a risk. And we rely so much on people abroad, but they are our hope.
Right.
Now, back home, I tried to strike a conversation in some places like, even the market, like Marina, in my office and several other places like that, you'd be surprised that everybody have awareness of what is going on and they want it to succeed. People love it. They want it. People are eager for it. We know. We are aware. Now, the person that seems like represents us before, that we're all looking up to, Sunday go home, suddenly they open up, everything seems to calm down. Sunday is in their custody, Kanu is in their custody. There is nobody speaking for us. So there is nobody that comes every day to show that our cause is still protected. We still have you guys in mind. It's still our land. We're still fighting for it. We're not going to give up. So that's why it seems as things back home is calm. We are not calm. We're expecting actions and we believe so much and we pray always for God to lengthen his age for us so that we get to freedom at the end of it. But please, we need to carry the youth along. Students are good, yes. How about the YouTubers? How about our musicians? People that have millions of followers on social media, please get them involved.
Okay, let us round up now. Okay. You need to
please send you a message. Please read my message as well.
Okay,
I put some points in my message. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
You have absolutely given some great points. Okay, those are great points. Everybody here is a freedom advocate. Every single person. Who have you reached? Your family, your friends, about your village, your church, your alma mater, your professional organization, your cultural organization, your cultural leaders. Everybody here is a signboard. Everybody here is a message board. And just because there doesn't appear to be what people call agitation. Does not mean that a lot isn't happening. Because I will recount what Tony and Nnadi said and what Prof. Akintoye said as well about the progress, the things that have been achieved. We are screaming loudly with the messaging that we are sending out, not just in the Nigeria space, but in the international space. Every message is pointed to address what's going on the ground and to provide that information to the international community as well. And a lot more of that is going to be happening, and that takes all of us. Yes, you are in Nigeria, but you probably know people in the US, even in the New York area, maybe Connecticut, maybe New Jersey, right? You contact them. Have you heard about this? Are you going to be there? Make sure that you're there. Make sure that I see you there. Everybody is a message board. That's the whole beauty of Nina's. Everyone counts. Just like Prof. Akintoye said, and Tony and Nnadi made very clear. Individuals, ethnic nationalities, everyone counts. Now, Tony, did you have anything more you wanted to add to that, or?
Not really. Everybody is welcome as long as they are from that alliance block, the alliance territories. Everybody is welcome. Key into that proclamation. That proclamation is our central message. Whether you want Odua Republic, or you want Biafra Republic, or you want Ogoni Republic, whatever you want, it is in the transition we get into. It is the referendums that will follow in that transition that will settle everything. The first thing is to get out of the cage. We are doing a joint jailbreak. Nina's is a joint jailbreak from the caliphate prison called Nigeria. Let us get out of that cage, then we go into transition and sort out where we want to go by referendum. It's that simple. So everybody's welcome to understand that it is that proclamation that has everything everybody needs, including all the destinations, are contained in, because once we stop this constitution, the union it creates is at an end. The Nigeria that we're talking about now is at an end. And then we go into a transition during which regional referendums to decide what will happen. All the quarrels about where the boundary will be taken, as some who become controversial can go to plebiscite. But let us get out of the cage first, because the Fulani are regrouping to come to kill everybody. If because we are quarreling for where to draw the line or who will stand in front, the thing that happened in Afghanistan were closer. If the US did not pull out when they pulled out, we would have happened before Afghanistan. What happened was that the US pulled out and the Taliban saw a gap and moved in. Today, the man in Asura will be more than glad to throw in the towel, because he's also the commander on the other side. That's what the Commodore Olaumi was, telling everybody. That's what we went out last Friday to also say, myself and Professor Turak, that the man who is Commander-in-Chief of Nigerian Armed Forces is also, Grand Patron of Miyetti Allah, which is Miyetti Allah is responsible for the activities of Fulani herdsmen, as they say, and that our Commander-in-Chief had dipped hands into the treasury to take 100 billion naira to give to Miyetti Allah, that was taking responsibility for the fourth most deadly terrorist organization on earth. And so, how are we supposed to make a distinction between all of them? Therefore, we see that the Taliban situation in which the government just capitulated, the army capitulated, they have infused our army with all the people that have been pardoning. The terrorists, they actually caught in combat. They will say they've repented and they put them back in the army. So our military is infused. We're closer to that danger than we realize. And therefore, let us just go in one accord. That proclamation of December 16 is our common position for ending the union that brings us together with these mad people.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, one of the things, if you haven't listened to the video by T.Y. Danjuma in 2018, you might want to listen to it. He was very precise. He said, do not rely on the armed forces. They collude. They collude. He said that very clearly. And then, how many of you saw the International Criminal Court statement in December, right before the constitutional force majeure was issued? They said that there is reasonable basis to believe that the Nigerian armed forces committed crimes against the people. Goes to the level of war crimes. Goes to the level of war crimes. Adewale, if you unmute again and make noise, I will remove you. Okay. So, if you are in doubt as to what's going on, the roadmap is there. And if that doesn't convince you, look at Melafia and what he said. And we've got countless videos from the area, the Northeast. And I'm going to give out some more numbers. The UN this month came out with horrifying numbers about how many people has been killed in the Northeast. Are you ready? 350,000 people. 350,000 people. Let me let that sink in. While they're sinking in, did you know that over 300,000 Nigerians has fled from Nigeria as refugees into other countries? Did you know that? Did you know that over 4 million have been displaced from their lands and are living in IDP camps? Those are internally displaced people, and they are living in squalor while we're paying terrorists ransom money and not going after them. Has any one of you seen a Fulani herdsman that has been prosecuted? El-Rufai in February said that the justice system is just moving so slowly, or we would have been seeing it by now. Buhari said, police department, release the names of all of the Fulani herdsmen that are being prosecuted. That was in February. This is August. We are still waiting. So if you're in doubt, then you're not listening. You're not watching. You need to be crystal clear. Prof. Akintoye read the letter a few years ago coming from the jihadists. It's on the Nina's YouTube channel. You'll find it there. Because what we're talking about isn't herder-farmer conflict. Were there any farmers at the NDA? In the places that the Nigerian army has been going with those farms? Wait. The U.S. government came out clearly stating that they are sharing intelligence with the Nigerian government. How is it they haven't been able to find this terrorist that Sheikh Gami could find? Auchi governor could find them. Zamfara governor could find them, take pictures with them, hand them money, leave them with the guns. And then tell us that we need to treat this Fulani herdsmen who have killed over 400,000 people with gentleness. What about Miiti Allah? That said that they're kidnapping and got 100 billion naira. And said that, oh yes, the killings, but it's revenge killings. Can they show us over 400,000 Fulani, non-indigenous to Nigeria, I might add, that have been killed, that you're doing a revenge killing on? Those are the people that are right in front of the Nigerian government. Why are they not going after them? I'm just talking about what's fair. Where is the equity? Where is the justice? But if one person says something, you're declared wanted or called to the DSS. Why haven't they called me Itiala? To actually prosecute them, not give them money. Boko Haram, repentant, to give them money, put them in the army. Oh, wait, that happened in Afghanistan. It's a blueprint. So if you're in any doubt, all we're here to do is to talk about what is actually happening. You come to your own conclusion. Ninas has identified the issue. It's the 1999 Constitution. We, the people, could not have made it. Why? Why would we, the people, as brilliant as we were, and still are, make a constitution where in chapter 2, we give ourselves all these benefits that we're going to get from the nation. But then in chapter 1, section 6, subsection 6C, we say, oh, wait, you can't enforce it. We give ourselves benefits, and then we say we can't enforce it and tell the court that they can't hear any cases on that. We must be very stupid people. And then, to even increase our stupidity, we now say a sitting governor is immune. The president is immune. So how exactly are you going to get your benefits? We are not that stupid. Not even our kids in elementary school would do that. And yet it says, we the people. One more. Assets. Now controlled by the federal government under the 68 exclusive item list. You want to know how those revenues are being divided? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. Local government areas is one of the factors. And I'm going to ask all of you to go check the local government areas. Add up the South, add up the far North. Then I'm going to tell you to look at Lagos. Lagos and Kano State started with 20 each. Now Kano State has 44. And Jigawa, which was carved out of Kano State, has 27. Lagos still has 20. So now that means Kano, which is now Kano and Jigawa, is getting 3.5 times just based on local government areas. Next factor, land size. Have you seen the size of the land in the north compared to the south? Doesn't take a blind mind to see that one. Population. Well, according to the latest numbers that they were giving us, they said out of 211 million people, 171 million are in the far north. Wow. So all of us in the middle belt of the south, there's only 40 million of us. Remember, these are the factors that are being used to distribute revenue in the country. So when we talk about apartheid, it's in the Constitution. Corruption, Constitution. Lack of good road, Constitution. Fulani herdsmen killing and not being prosecuted, Constitution. Because if we had a sovereignty, Constitution took away, we control who comes into our own space. Why are we telling you this? Ninas has the plan. And Ninas has done all the groundwork. And we are now getting towards the end, and we need everyone. There's no such thing as saying, I'm from the middle belt, I'm from here. Under Nina's umbrella, we are one, we are united for freedom, and gosh darn it, we're going to get it. Okay, Donald, next question. We're coming to an end here. We're almost at an hour and 45 minutes. So we're going to take a couple more questions. But I'm going to ask Ilana and Yoruba Directorate and Lower Niger Congress and the Middle Belt Forum, the Middle Belt Republic, if you can actually be putting your information, contact information, in the chat, that would be fantastic. And everyone that has not provided your information yet, do please provide your information in the chat. And as we said, failure, not an option. We don't fail when you get involved. So we're calling all of you to get involved. Donald?
Okay, the next in line would have been iPad Bola NJ, and that's
no iPad person can speak if they don't change the name.
Doesn't have a picture or something, so I'll be going to Sambayo. Sambayo, you there? Unmute, please.
Yeah, Bola, you need to show yourself. Okay. You need to show yourself, Bola.
Okay, I'll show my face. Okay, I'll show my face.
Okay, Samboya, just hold on a second.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll take them and you'll be up next. Thank you very much. Okay, while we're waiting for Bola, we're going to go ahead and have somebody go ahead. We'll just call you Bola once you get your picture up. Go ahead, somebody.
Can you mute yourself?
Justin?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just a short question. I really appreciate this meeting. The bit that worries me is this, which is what is going on in the Middle Belt. I know there's a lot of activities in the West, in the East, but the Middle Belt seems to be a bit, I don't know, there is a lot of killings in there, and my expectation is that they should be more active than either the West or the East because of what they are going through. I don't know if any of their leaders are here who will explain to us, or is there anything that needs to be done to get the Middle Belt more involved in this agitation? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. I'm going to call on Nnadi to answer that question because he's had a lot of interactions, and Donald and I and Shehu, we've had a lot of interactions, from that front. A lot of people may not know what that is physically, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So Tony, if you're at a place where you can chat about that, if you can please unmute. He's driving, so it is quite possible. Okay, there he is. Thank you, Tony. He was asking about the Middle Belt and their engagement. Can you hear me, Tony? We're not able to hear you yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I've got to my destination now. Just disembarking and all. So what was the question, please?
The question is, the Middle Belt, there's a lot of killings right there, and it appears to them that the Middle Belt isn't getting involved, and what needs to be done to get them more involved. So I said we'll have you answer that because you've got a lot of involvement with them. Donald and I would add to that as well because we've been working a lot with them as well. So if you could please.
Yeah, the Middle Belt is fully involved, just as they're under siege. And the enemy is particularly interested in intimidating them from. You saw what they were doing with Autumn, but I can inform us that the chief of staff, Autumn's chief of staff, was in the room the day we were addressing the State Department in 2019, in Washington, and they know they're involved from the Benue to Plateau, Jonathan. You saw Turaki, Professor Yusuf Turaki, the other day. They are under such a siege. They're under such a siege that is, you can't believe it, that these people are trying to make sure that they don't connect with us. But once they connect with us, the game is over. And they're making it as difficult as possible. At times, even in something as simple as a meeting like this, they will compromise. They will compromise the network around the area so that the people, the person or people, once they get to know, something will happen and it becomes difficult to connect. We found out after a few times. They are fully involved. All of our people who are from that part, from in the outside, in the diaspora, when we were doing our town halls, there was a day in Houston, I had to attend the chief meeting in Houston. I had to go to where they had gathered because there are people had I think it was some media, some kind of get together that they already scheduled. And when they heard we were in town, because some of them who came to our town hall, they said, look, the other people don't seem to know anything. Welcome to. So I can assure you, they're involved. They're going to get more and more involved, especially if their dance people begin to do the kind of things that other people are doing. They are in that stage, and you could see that when the US was listening to us about what was happening, it was the rest of the country was not being attacked. They were and so they dropped a couple of those victims and most of them is not about that at all. Yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Tony. And I'm going to call on Donald. If you can talk a little bit about, they're just going to focus on Clubhouse, for instance, and what's happening there, and also on the platforms, what's happening there. Donald, you need to unmute.
I didn't know you were looking at what we've done in the Clubhouse. Yeah, the Clubhouse is such a place that have people from different locations in Nigeria and also outside the world. And we have different rooms and different houses, like the Middle Belt we're talking about. They have a forum, have a room where they converge, speak, and on about 2 occasions we've been invited to speak there, and they even had to go ahead to create a room for themselves for the Ninas, affecting Ninas strategy in their different regions. They also have different concerns, like Tony had mentioned. Like I was speaking to one of them that said, in fact, as we're speaking here, I wanted him to come out and speak and say, no, we can't come in because, we are with these people and we try to understand them more when we are with them. So it's not very, very safe for us to come out like that. The ones that are very active, the ones that are actually doing the job, the ones that are actually getting people to sign on the petition, the ones that are actually getting prepared to host the 2023 election. So they are very active, and I can tell you that we have a whole lot of them. But as time goes on, we are going to see much of their activity, and it's actually going to be much more louder than most of the regions that we have seen. Thank you very much. I think I just
right. Thank you very much. So there is a lot of activity going on there, and yes, there's a lot of issues there. One of the things that people don't know with regards to the history, and I am half Middle Belt, being a TV girl myself, but what people don't know is that when we had that first incursion of this non-indigenous Fulanese coming into our area and on the Utmandatfodia, that their march to the south was stopped by the Middle Belt. So the fact that we are now having the opportunity to stand our ground is thanks to those in the Middle Belt. So you can imagine the amount of calamity that they have had to endure over the years as they keep trying to break through. So I am going to commend Governor Otter, because while those who are farther away from the front lines have been shriveling, he has stood strong. And he put in the anti-grazing law. He did that. And he has stood his ground to protect the indigenous Nigerians. And so when we talk about that they are not doing anything, you're not paying attention. Because the numbers we're talking about is coming from the Middle Belt. And that's why Ninas is a great solution. We are united for freedom. That means that even if you're not able to speak, we speak for you. You speak for them. That's the beauty of this. And so anyone that isn't on this jet, on this Ninas freedom jet, on this Ninas constitutional force majeure jet, will have to lie to their descendants in the future to say that they took a hand in freedom. And I'm calling on anyone Do not have your conscience disturb you, because we will get our freedom. But what will your story be? And that's what we're calling the you now. To be a brother's keeper, because your brother cannot speak does not mean he isn't acting. Because the act of Governor Autumn in putting a line in the sand is a huge risk, but he's doing it. Okay? Okay, we've got a couple more questions. And we still have a ton of people coming on board. Okay, so Donald, who has the next question? Actually, I'm going to pause for a minute here. Sharon, are you still available? Because we still have a ton of people in here. Sharon, are you still here? Because I can't see you anymore. If you are here, if you can say something. So I know.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. So I'm going to call you up so you can talk about the Million Man March. Okay? So if you can give us some information about that. Where are we going to be? What days are going to be the march? Who's working on it? You know, the fact that we have this collaboration of everyone, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, thanks to everyone. And I want to believe this is the beginning of ending this meeting, you know. Kind of, we have been here for close to 2 hours, and then probably in another 5 minutes it will be 2 hours. And I will only also summarize all that we have said concerning the Million March rally. Both from different, from all the components of NINAS. We know that we've all been doing one thing or the other. People have been working assiduously to ensure success to this great march ahead. The way I would want to say is a lot of things are still being put together, but of course, I think together we can win better. We have seen the working structure, we have seen cooperation among our leaders, and we have also resolved that the best way towards achieving greater impact is when we come together like this and work together. And listen to what Tony said concerning organizing ourselves, the message that we want to convey, so that at the end of it all, we will be seen as serious, you know, people that know what they are doing and what they are asking for. Lastly, I would just want to put out a number out here to all Yoruba self-determination leaders that are present. It's going to be a number to which we need to put our contacts, and so that we can have, you know, post meeting after this meeting, and so that we'll be able to come to a point of working together. We can now come back together as team there. All the team that have been working, so that we can harmonize what we have been doing together. So I will put it on the chat room. And I know, again, I want to say, you know, thank you for joining this meeting today. And this is just a signal that we are out there for a good success. And I pray that the Lord will reward everyone. So thank you. I'm going to put out the number out there, and then we'll harmonize everything together after the meeting. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Yes, everyone is coming together. And so if you're in the New York area, you need to put your information down so that we can reach you. If you are in international location and are coming, same situation. If you know people who are in the area, you need to be getting a hold of them. And of course, everybody knows putting a march together takes money. So do you please, you can get in contact with all the information that we're being provided in the chat, and we will be getting back to you as well with what the budget is and what the gap that we have that needs to be closed. Because freedom fighting is not done with pennies. So, and I know that all of you are quite successful and are looking to be part of this success. So we will be providing that information. We're only a little over 2 weeks to go to the march. And so everybody's working double time. And so we need all the resources, okay? Whatever it is that you can do. If you're a graphic designer, we need you. If you're a blogger, we need you. If you're on Instagram, we need you. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, we need you. If you have email, we need you. LinkedIn, we need you. Okay? On the ground, we absolutely need you. So everyone doing their part is what we need. There is the demand referendum petition, and I've posted it here. And Donald, if you can please post it out again. Everybody needs to be signing that petition. Getting their family to sign the petition. And those that don't have a device to sign, we have put it together in such a way that you can sign them up, okay? You can sign them up with their own information, not your information. You put your information for you, and then you put their information for them, okay? So that way we're capturing everyone. But you are important. You are critical to the success, because Nina's is about the people. And the people, that's you, that's me, that's us. And why is it so important for you to talk to people? Because knowledge is power, and power is freedom. We need to let our people know that government does not have the power. In actuality, government only operates on the power that the people have given them. But over the years, we have come to believe that the people don't have power. No, you have the power. But knowledge is what our people need to understand the power that they have and that they're going to use to drive to their freedom. So please be a knowledge bearer. Be a freedom knowledge bearer. Don't be selfish with it. Spread it out, because we need to go exponential. To sign the petition, I don't know, Donald, if you put it out there, and we are unfortunately at the end of this meeting. But Donald, if you can post the meeting ID for the next NINA's meeting, we're going to be talking about Afghanistan. We're going to be talking about the Million Man March and what impact that is going to have on the freedom, the freedom that we seek. We'll be looking at a little bit more detail about what happened in Afghanistan. And then we're going to add what happened in the NDA in Nigeria and start looking, because everyone needs to understand that could so easily be us. As Tony said, that's a frightening thought. So all of you on here that have questions, I'm afraid we're not going to be able to take those questions. But if you provided those in the chat, we will get to it in the next session. And Donald, if you can please post the information on the Zoom numbers, the ID, and the password. I know the password. It's Nina's in all caps. But if you can post the meeting ID, because we're going to go straight from this meeting to that meeting, and you can come to that meeting with your questions, because we'll still be talking about the Million Man March and Afghanistan, the NDA, and what that means for Nigeria. So have you had time to do that yet, Donald, to put in the meeting ID? And so, Sharon, I'm going to call on you if you have some last words for people while Donald is doing that, because we do need to start moving on to the next program here. So, Sharon, if you can say some words and of just exhortation and encouraging the people to be a part, that would be awesome. Donald, have you put? I'm not seeing it yet. Maybe you've done and I haven't seen it. But Sharon, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you again for having me, Jane. Well, the message is we have been encouraged to form ourselves, to organize ourselves, and speak the language that the international community understands. And the more the merrier. It is only when we work together that we can achieve the greater impact. So my call is again to all of us to come to our big umbrella, which is NINA's, so that whatever we are doing piecemeal in our various schools, we can put them together, then we can achieve the greater impact. So thank you everybody for coming, and I want to believe very soon again, we are going to reorganize to brainstorm and cross-fertilize ideas again. Thank you, and God bless all.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And as we said, everyone is working together. We are going to transition to the next meeting The ID, I'm posting that information right now, and also posting the password. Please put your information in if we don't have it yet, so that we can reach you. But again, you can join us right after this meeting, because we are actually late setting up with that meeting, and so everyone is welcome, and we can continue this conversation there as well. Okay, so the password is going to be Nina's to the next meeting, and I am posting the ID, which is 893-7134-2519. Password Nina.
All right, our people, as you can see, we are done. We thank you so much for joining us. We are here to win. She said we are here to take back what belongs to us. So if you want to join the next meeting, it's the same ID, meeting ID number, but I think the password is Nina's. So thank you so much for joining us. For those of you that stayed the whole time consistently, we know that this thing is dear to us. We just have to do our parts. I know a lot of you could not see me. I was on that zooming my typing there. So one of the things that I kept writing over and over again is that freedom is not free. We need your talent. We need your treasure. We need your time. So don't ask how am I going to help? What can I do? I'm posting the LNC donate button down here. Give us some money. If you don't have money, if you don't have time, give us some money. It doesn't matter. Don't wait for it to be $500, or even if it's $5 that you can give to help this project. It's not free, my people. You guys were busy giving it to a radio ranter that was wearing Fendi outfit, and here we are wearing t-shirts. Bring the money now. I wear money behind so we can get home, because the Taliban's are coming to the neighborhood near us. How is loose now? They are out like loose cannons. We don't know when they're going to land in the neighborhood party hall next to us with their AK-47. So this is not the time to be sentimental. Oh, I thought the other person is going to bring it. Nobody's bringing you nothing. No Appian way. You must do your part. No how we cheating. You cannot get away with the way you've been doing all along, and you keep succeeding. Please, we need to get out of that abomination called Nigeria. That we have to have that jailbreak. We need to go. So please help us any way that you can. Get in there and do your part. We have to go home. We need to go. Enough is enough. So do your part. Again, the information is there. There's the LNC USA website. I just put the link in there again. Whenever you get a chance, come in and click on it. Put whatever you need to put. Please, my people, we need to go home. People have been doing this all along without coming out to say money, because we don't want people to be distracted. We know a lot of them have been cheated on the other side with money, and single-handedly few of us have been working hard to fund this thing. But it has gotten enough now that if you're waiting for us to go and work 12 hours and come back and bring the money, the Taliban's will show up. So we can't even afford to do that anymore. We don't have the time. If we did, we could have kept quiet and kept working extra shift to keep it going. But it has come to the time now that the US is no longer in Taliban. In Afghanistan, you see how they blew up the garden place this past Friday or Thursday. So we can't even wait anymore, because very soon they're coming out of their caves and heading towards your region, as the President Bubu already gave them the nation. So nobody is waiting for us anymore. Do your part, especially those of us in diaspora. I'm not even calling our brothers and sisters back home, because they are surviving. They are trying to make it. But for those of us in diaspora, we can spare $5, we can spare $10, we can spare $20, we can spare something. And the good news is that if you want to give a large amount, we have a tax, especially if you're here in the USA, a tax information that you can use to claim it back. So however way you want it, please. And then if you don't have, and you have an auntie or brother that do have, take the information and say they even have tax credits for it. We need to go, my people. Anything. We are not here to be your president. All we are saying that we don't want to be playing rush roulette with the Taliban's where they're heading our way. Please. We'll see you guys next Saturday. As you can see, my sisters will be back next Saturday. They were busy doing other things. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next weekend. Bye-bye.